Oh, there we go. Yep. Okay. So yeah, I just realized that I put the topic out like 1 or 2 minutes too late, so it's not gonna quite be 15 minutes old when it gets around to the thing. Not that it matters, because this is kind of a slow Tuesday and probably nobody's gonna watch. Or one person. I don't know, I don't really care that much. Because it's going on the YouTube channel anyway, so yeah. And yeah, my mic is set up just like how I had it last time, so yeah. Let me check that my internet is doing fine. Yeah, it's doing fine. This isn't gonna be too terribly interesting. I'm just gonna be coming up with names here. Got the chat over here in case anybody pops in. And wow, my nose itches. Ow. Might only stream for an hour because I kind of doubt anybody's gonna hey Vivi. Oh, click wrong tab. I need to get behind the name up here. Because otherwise I'm going to be lost. Nope. No, wrong thing. There we go. Is the stream broadcasting right? Yes, it is. Okay. I just realized. Since last time. Hey. Yeah, today is gonna be a bit different, because instead of very terribly trying to write and stuff, I am actually trying to figure out some characters for a future story. So, yeah. I'm just figuring out names right now, and then I'm going to get them written down. Yeah, I've done some research already, but like basically this is for a story that I'm going to write later. The reason why I'm coming up with this now instead of just continuing with Quiet Falls, finishing that, and then shifting all focus to something else is because basically I'm going to put Quiet Falls, like my current story that I already have, into a series with a bunch of other stories. Not like a direct sequel sort of series, but more like a whole bunch of different stories all take place in the same world, and they interconnect forwards and backwards. So this is like I already have like 8 other stories already worked in to the whole mix of things, and I'll be writing those later, but this is like a new one that I came up with that I'm currently trying to like connect in there and everything. I don't really have a name for it yet, but Yeah. Did I write that? Yeah. I did write that. Yeah, basically, so, this story, um, well, I'm not sure how much I can say without, uh, well, no, I can explain. Okay, so, like, um, a lot of it is based on games. The series as a whole is based off of, it's actually based off of two things. Basically, like, well, no, actually three things, technically. Okay, basically, one day back, like, last year, this is when I came up with the idea for all these worlds and stuff, was last year, around May 2014. Basically, I just woke up one day and I just decided, you know what would be really fucking cool? It would be really fucking cool if you took the SCP Foundation, but then gave them this kind of like political secret war thing, Metal Gear Solid style. But you gave them the kind of like flashy, like everything goes back all throughout history sort of thing, just like Assassin's Creed. So it's like there's these competing secret societies that are trying to keep these eldritch horrors hidden away from the modern, like away from the general populace, but they've existed for but these like societies have existed. Oh shit, audio's choppy. Is that your end or my end? Because I think my end's fine. Hopefully the stream's not messing up. Because that would be embarrassing. Yeah, let me see here. Seems to be coming through fine. Okay, so anyway, okay. Basically, it's like there's this like it's just like the SCP Foundation. So it's like, but it's like there's more than one of these foundations, and for the past several hundred years, they've been keeping eldritch abominations hidden away from society, and so it's like that's what all folklore is. Like whenever you hear about creepy stuff or myths or legends and stuff like that, it was because of these like unnatural things, and these foundations formed to hide those away, and that's why superstition kind of went away, it seems like. But in modern times, they now have this sort of like Metal Gear Solid trying to control the government sort of thing going on. So it's kind of, so yeah, it's kind of like Assassin's Creed, but instead of Templars and Assassins, it's like different versions of the SCP Foundation, and they are in a war that's Metal Gear style. So it's all screwed up. What's the Blind Eye Society? Oh, Gravity Falls. It's funny because people keep thinking that my story is that like Quiet Falls is based off of Gravity Falls, and because I don't watch television, I didn't realize that people could mistake it for that, and I was like, oh shit, because I gave my story an unfortunate name. Yeah, I don't watch Quiet Falls though, so I don't really know what that is. Um, yeah, it's just like when I tell people about it, like from the title, I tell people like, "Oh, I'm writing this story called Quiet Falls," and they're like, "Oh, is that based off of or is that based off of Gravity Falls?" Uh, no. It's not that big of a deal. Because I can understand why people would think that. Because I don't know. Like if you watch a lot of that show, then I can totally see how people would think that. It's like when I was telling my grandmother about Doctor Who once, and she said, "Is that like Doctor No from James Bond?" And I was like, "Oh, no, it's not. I forgot that existed." Beautiful voice I have there. What? Was that in reference to when I put on the one voice, or are you just complimenting my voice randomly? I mean, either way, I'll take it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm known for putting on voices. I'm trying to come up with some Russian names that aren't just like, I'm gonna name them Yuri and Ivan and Vladimir. Like I don't want to go stereotypical name, but I don't want to pick a ridiculous name at the same time. So it's it's weird. That looks like a cool name. Nazri. That's a cool name. Valkyrie. Oh, that's a cool name. I might have to do that one. Oh, but yeah, okay, so I forgot to explain what this particular story is and why there's Russian stuff. Okay. So anyway, I I don't know why I've been watching people play Kerbal Space Program a lot, so I was like, okay, I need to make a story about space. Um and I decided the most cool thing that I could do um is do something where uh like like I wanted to do something with the Soviet Union, and I was like, okay, what can I do that's space with the Soviet Union? Well, obviously the obvious solution is to do something during the space race. And then I thought, what if Russia had a program to sabotage Apollo 11? So, because I know that Russia had a rocket that they were going to launch to the moon. It was called the N1, and they almost had this thing ready. It's this thing here. Like, this is real history. This is the rocket that the Soviets were going to take to the moon, but they didn't have it ready in time. Well, my story asks, what if they did have it ready in time? And what if they sent it up and they never reported it because something happened during that voyage? Not to mention, this would look really bad for Russia if they admitted they sent somebody up there to go and kill the Apollo 11 astronauts. So, yeah. Oh, and by the way, this is a comparison of the Saturn V against the N1. So, yeah. You can see they were very different, but pretty comparable. I mean, of course, the American one actually looks like something that can go into space, whereas the Russian one looks like something from a Jules Verne novel. But, yeah. But yeah, this thing did actually go near the moon. It just didn't have anybody in it. But they flew by the moon with this. So, well, well, not a lot of Soviet stuff was structurally sound, but they put it in space anyway. Like, for example, the Soyuz was the first time that they put people in space without wearing suits. Why did they feel so confident that they'd be safe without suits? They didn't. The thing was just so small they couldn't fit the suits on. So they just lied and said, "Oh, no, 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 it's perfectly safe. You don't need suits." Basically, they just duct taped the holes and just said, "No, no, no, you don't need suits. Everything will be fine." Yeah, actually, those were going to be the fins. They were going to use the shuttlecock effect. Um, like, okay, you know what this thing is? Like, you've seen these before. It's like the little tennis ball thing. Um, it worked. Well, the rocket would have worked on the same principle as these things. Instead of having proper fins, they would have this thing. Basically, they just wanted to be different because they could. So, yeah. I'm pretty sure most of the problems related to the N1 had nothing to do with it being structurally fucked up. I think it was just because they couldn't get the engines to work right. Because the first stage here would have had, I think, 11 engines firing at once. If you think about 11 engines firing at once, that's fucking ridiculous. Because if any one of those fails, they have to start all over again. And like that really does feel like Kerbal Space Program. Yeah, just 11 engines on there. Everything will be fine. Nothing could go wrong. I think they're literally called shuttlecocks, the ball things. Because I know the effect is called the shuttlecock effect. It's just, of course, you know, being in the furry fandom, if anything has the word cock in it, your mind instantly goes to other places. So. That's weird. Whole thing about dragons or whatever. The fuck is this? I love when I find an article, it's like, okay, picture, 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 picture. Yep, I read that. I don't have time to read the damn article. Even when I do have time, I still don't read the article. It's just picture, 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 picture. Yep, I get the gist. Aristark. Well, that's a name. Demyan. Or Demyan. Okay, it's Demyan. That's Diva? Where do you see that? What's confusing is I'm trying. I'm trying to make sure, um, that I'm grabbing like actual names that are proper because I'm like like the thing at here, this is gonna be the protagonist of the story, the cosmonaut who actually goes up and is gonna sabotage the thing, and so, um, like the weird thing is, you have to like with Russian names. Okay, you have a first name. Actually, let me zoom in here because I forgot that I can do this without changing the font size. Okay, so like you got a first name, and like that's just standard. You have a first name. Then you have basically you take your father's name and you put it here, and then put Ovich or Ovna at the end, and that's like son of or daughter of. Then you do the last name because this guy's from Belarus. He has a different sort of name because I decided to go for the whole thing where it's like you just use a noun instead of using a traditional Russian name or whatever. I'm gonna have to run this by somebody because I'm not sure if this would be how you would do that as a name, but that's beside the point right now. Like the weird thing though is because the first name has a diminutive, so you don't use the diminutive as a first name, I don't think. But that's the problem because they list the diminutives on behind the name along with the main name. So it's funky. The other thing is I'm not sure what names would be in the 60s, because this is a story about Apollo 11. This takes place in the 60s, because I know that after the Soviet Union dissolved and it became the Russian Federation, I know that a lot of things changed, and I'm pretty sure the naming culture changed as well. So it's kind of weird because, like, for every character that I come up with their name, I have to come up with two names at once because I have to know their father's name as well. So it's just a little odd. But yeah, this is where I grabbed the one name from. Gavril is Gabriel in Russian, basically. So yeah. Oh, I didn't even see this. Foma. Apparently that's Thomas. Thomas. I'm starting to just talk. I'm starting to talk with an accent, apparently. I'm sorry if this is terribly boring. Carp. Carp. You can just call somebody Carp. Not that there's anything wrong with that name, it's just funny. What did I grab over here? Oh, that was just surnames, okay. Yeah, Magikarp. Oh, that would actually be a hilarious pun. Are there any names that, are there any, oh, no. That would be hilarious, though, if, like, there was a name that sounded similar to Magia, and then I could make their father's name be, Carp, so they could be, like, Magic Karpovich. That would be hilarious. Oh, but there's no names like that. Yeah, okay. Oh, that sucks. Wait, is there a Ukrainian name? If there's if there's a Ukrainian name, then I'm saved. Actually, you know what? No, I can do, uh, Belarus. Let's see, Estonia, Latvia. I'm trying to think of what could theoretically have that. Where is Ukraine? Ukraine's got to be somewhere here. There's there. I'm blind. I'm terrible with, pronouncing things. Okay, so it's not Belarus. It's Belarus. I am like the worst at pronouncing things though, so that would be why. Be. What is be? I was pretty sure it was Belarus, and then Belarusian. And then, Belarus. Okay, okay, apparently my phone thinks I'm talking to it. What is my phone doing? Quiet, phone. Or I'll call in a priest and exorcise you. Okay, there's got to be a Slovakian name. That would be that. Okay. Damn it. Okay. Maybe Ukraine will come in here and save me. Damn it. There's no... Oh. Actually, Maxim could work. Maxim Karpovich? Nah. Or, I'm sorry, Maxine. You're three people at once to keep yourself entertained? What? Methodi. Oh, that's a hilarious name. Methodi. I don't get it. Okay. Oh my god, look at this name. Look at this name. Um, I actually don't know how it's pronounced because it doesn't have the pronunciation thing on here. I assume it's Simin or it's probably Saman. Um. Oh well, okay. Clearly it's Simyon or Simeon. So that would be how it's pronounced the other way too. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, because this is, obviously still all um, furry stuff and everything. Um, Basically, I've been trying to figure out what I want to do for the cast of everything. I decided gotta have a fox in there because this particular species of fox is, it's in there. It's in Soviet territory, so gotta have that in there because I mean, just like look at these majestic fuckers. Um, but I figured, fuck it, bats are in in there too. So, so bats, ugly motherfuckers, but when you anthropomorphize them, they don't have to be ugly motherfuckers. Um, and then I was like, it'd be fucking hilarious, a Russian squirrel. So, Siberian flying squirrel, because flying squirrels are cool. The problem is, I don't think reptiles uh, live in Russia. If they do, then that would be awesome. And hello, Pinefoot. And yeah, and then I was just like, fucking beavers. Beavers are cool. Oh, it's... Why? Milk first or... I don't put milk first. Not usually. I mean, the traditional order is cereal, then milk, then Nutella. Oh, there are reptiles. Oh, like very few. Well, I mean, that makes sense because it's like. What? I'm trying to. How the fuck would reptiles live in Russia? It's snowy and miserable. Oh, they're snakes, okay. And there's turtles. That's a weird turtle. That is a weird turtle. Well, that's helpful. Don't even show me a picture. I think that Vivi is like giving themselves multiple personality disorder. They're either doing that or they have a tulpa. One of the two. These guys are cool. That's a weird looking snake. Also, warning, this is going to be like the most boring and unproductive live stream ever because I'm basically just sitting here talking, uh, like working out characters and shit for a future story that I won't be writing for a while. But if you happen to find that interesting, then yeah. Okay, so basically Russia has snakes and nothing else. Why are they all venomous? Why does everything have to kill you in Russia? Okay, now that's weird. What kind of reptile has feet like that? That's weird. That's really weird. Now that's a cool snake. And it's the most common viper in Europe. Okay, great. Great. Beautiful. It is in Russia, though, so it's Russian. And then there's this, whatever the fuck this is. That's an interesting snake design. I have not seen orange and black before. Not quite like this, anyway. Okay, so basically we have the weird snake. Okay, I'm just gonna stick with the Vipera birus. No, I'll throw in the snake. This is a cool. This is a cool snake design. Because the way I was thinking of doing the story is to have it told in either from two or three viewpoints. Because you gotta have one from the cosmonauts viewpoint, obviously. You know that's where all the action is happening. But then there'd be another viewpoint from the ground, where they're like working out the politics stuff things, and then possibly a third viewpoint from NASA's perspective. I'm not sure. I'm debating that one, but I'm thinking so like there'd be a good cast or whatever, but I'm mostly concerned about trying to figure out what the Russian characters are, because like it's easy to just kind of wing it with when it comes to like American species, but I like to get it right when it comes to this stuff, because like my whole thing with the world that I write this stuff in is that whatever a character's nationality or nationality, ethnicity, whatever is supposed to be, pick an animal from where that comes from. So if the characters are Russian, then I pick a Russian animal. If they're supposed to be German, I pick a German animal. So just because it's cool, and it forces me to have a varied cast instead of doing the same thing over and over and over again. Now I just gotta come up with names. Okay, so this guy, already got this guy, because this guy's gonna be Gavro Artyom. I can't speak. Gavro Artyomovich Adzinota. Just put a comrade before that, so comrade Gavril, blah 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 blah. And then I gotta figure out who exactly this gotta be. I'm thinking that for the Corsac Fox thing, the thingy, that whatever I do with this character, there'll be somebody in some sort of command position. Basically, they're going to be the guy who everyone is supposed to hate. Because this face just tells me, like, you're supposed to hate this. Like, this is the face of somebody who you want to punch. So, that's how I came up with that. And then for the flying squirrel and the beaver, I was thinking they would be supporting cast. I was thinking, okay, so like flying squirrel, and now I'm thinking, okay, flying squirrel and snake thing, they would be buddies of the Gavril guy, and then whoever the beaver is, I don't know. I'm now wondering, like, should I throw a beaver in there? Like, on the one hand, I'm going, beavers are cool. On the other hand, I'm going, but what the fuck would I do with a fifth character? Because, I don't want to just throw a character in there for no goddamn reason. So, part of me is saying, you can use beavers later. Don't try and force a beaver in there. And it's a dilemma. That's the word that I want to use there. Well, right, but like, what would he be doing functionally that couldn't be fulfilled by one of the other characters? Because what would it be is, it would be, we got Corsac Fox, who is like some kind of commander, who is the one who pressures Gavril into doing the mission, and then Squirrel and Snake are kind of like supporting cast who might radio in to Gavril or something, maybe tell him some stuff that's happening down on the ground. They might run into trouble with the Soviets. And then what does that leave for Beaver Guy to do? My other problem is, would I be able to handle the responsibility of having a Beaver character without having them constantly say, damn it? So yeah, I have a bit of weight on my shoulders there with that. I think I'm gonna say no on beavers, and I'll do beavers later. I think that's the better idea here. I think I want to keep things pretty simple, at least to start off with, and then I can make them more complex later. But I don't want to tack unnecessary stuff onto a story. I want to keep it pretty simple. And I do happen to have 3 names here, so 3 names for the 3 other characters. Now I just have to figure out what their fathers would be named so I can do the patronymics. Is that how that's pronounced? I don't think that's how that's pronounced. I think I'm butchering things. Patronymics, yeah. Well, Russians have their own. It's funny because Russians actually have an entirely separate dialect of their language that consists of nothing but swearing. They literally have an entire dialect that is devoted to nothing but swearing, where every single word is a curse word. And you can carry on entire conversations where every single word is a swear. Yeah. Yeah, that's why in the Russian version of Winnie the Pooh, known as Vinny Pook, they actually swear several times because it's perfectly acceptable to swear in English and Russian. Like, they teach children how to say fuck. You just don't swear in Russian. You can swear in English, you don't swear in Russian when you're speaking Russian. Unless you actually want to swear in Russian, then you swear in Russian. I'm not making any fucking sense, don't mind me. What the fuck does Nazario mean? Psychoblast? What? Oh, I could have guessed that. Okay, from Nazareth. Okay, that's what that means. Okay. Zenobia. Zenovi. Okay, no, Zenovi. It's Zenovi. Okay. That could be a cool name. Yeah, I'll go with that. Okay, what the fuck is the diminutive of that though? God damn it, TV tropes. They're letting me down. I need to know the diminutive. Diminutive is like, basically, like, take the name Joseph, and that's like the standard version of the name, and then the diminutive of Joseph is Joe. Well, I need to know both of them because depending on how you want to refer to somebody, you use different versions of their name. So it's like most of the time when you're referring to somebody, the most standard way to do this, regardless of situation, is to say their first name and their patronymic. And the patronymic is basically the Russian version of your middle name because they don't have regular middle names. That their middle name is always the name of their father plus Ovich or Ovna. So it'd be first name and then patronymic. But you can interchange the first name for the diminutive, or simply refer to them only by first name or diminutive, to imply a different kind of relationship with them. Like if you're friends with somebody, then you use a less formal way of referring to them. So I need to know the different things so that I can write it all down here. Because like this is basically a complete name right here. So I need to do that for every character. Well, fucking hell, they just copy directly from TV tropes, pretending they wrote it themselves. Yeah, I guess it is a lot of work, whatever. Well, fucking hell, does this just not have a diminutive? Because that's weird. There are a few names that don't have that. From what I can tell, it's just bizarre when you find one that doesn't have that. Because that's like basically naming your kid. That's like naming your kid Joe instead of Joseph. So now they don't. So now like their name is officially Joe. So calling them Joseph is considered weird now. Actually, you know, Vasily could do. That's a cool name. Yeah, I'll do that. That's a good name for that character. And I cannot remember things. Okay, there we go. I just looked at the name and I already forgot how to spell it. I'm a fucking idiot. Vasya. And then I'm gonna say that his father had a generic name, and it was Mikhailovich. And for surname, I'll just thank you, Wikipedia, for existing. What's a good surname? Far too many names here. Okay, pick a letter. Pick a letter, and that's going to be the first. That's going to be the category I'm going to look in. Nobody wants to pick a letter? I'm going to pretend that Pinefoot picked cereal as a letter. So I'm going to look and see if there's actually a C. Oh, there is. I can call them stroganoff, and then everyone would think they're a food. Actually, Solomon is a pretty cool name. do Solomon. Teplov, that's a weird name. Is there anything closer to... That's weird. I think I'll do Solomon. Well, how does that sound? Yeah, Solomon sounds good. Okay, and that takes care of that one. Right there, okay. Okay, so no, I'm done. Oh, I didn't even realize you left. I was sitting here trying to ask for letters, and then Pinefoot wasn't responding, so I had to assume that the letter that he picked was cereal, and then you weren't responding, so I just figured you were dead. So no, it's fine because I found this badass name of Solomon or Solomon. Generally in Russian, apparently the stress is on the second to last syllable, usually. So I'm just going to assume that every word has the stress on the second to last syllable. Chips and salsa sounds good. Okay, which one sounds cooler for the diminutive of Matvey? Does Matyash or Matya sound better? This would be the flying squirrel. He'd be like a fellow cosmonaut. Matia? Okay. And I gotta figure out a last name. Actually, a lot of Russian names sound like women's names, such as Sasha is the diminutive of a couple versions of men's names, actually, which is why in Team Fortress 2 we don't know the gender of the heavy's gun, because he calls the gun Sasha, and that can be, and in Russia that could be a man or a woman's name. Because yeah, Alexander, that name, the diminutive is Sasha, and the diminutive of Alexandra, which is the female version, like, so like the male and female version both have the same diminutive of Sasha. So yeah. And it's still a male name, so it's kind of interesting. Okay, now I gotta figure out the name for the snake guy. What can I do for snake guy? Yes, well, actually, cosmonaut is actually the the English word for what the Russians call it. Similar to how comrade isn't a Russian word, but that's what it translates to in English. A cosmonaut is basically an astronaut. It just means they launched off from Russia. Functionally, the linguistic difference is that astronaut means sailor of the stars, and cosmonaut means sailor of the universe. Because the cosmo part comes from the Greek kosmos, which I believe meant universe, whereas astronaut comes from astro, which means stars, basically, as far as I know. And then of course naut is the same, like is the same where we get nautical from. It means sailor. So in this case, it's sailor of the, and then whatever you put before naut. Let me just check this first before I make myself look like a total tool. Yes, I was right with astro. No, was I right with cosmonaut? Yes! I was right with cosmonaut. I'm not retarded. And then the Chinese are just fucking confusing. And the Chinese, when they're referring to it, sometimes they call it astronaut and sometimes they call it cosmonaut. Because they're China. China likes to be difficult. The fuck? Oh, it's just a giant wall. Okay. Yeah, good. Walls. Yeah, language is sometimes difficult. It's really fun though. It's fun. So at least it's got that going for it. Luzhkov, that's a cool name. Okay, so actually, you know what? Is there another? No, Luzhkov sounds cool. Okay, now I gotta figure out a first name for Snake Guy. Snake Guy would be another fellow cosmonaut. Yakov is pretty cool. Yakov, Luzhkov, no, I can't speak. Lukov, something, Luzhkov, yeah. Or I could go semi-stereotypical and do Dimitri. For the 20,000 subscribers party. I don't know. I don't know exactly what I could do. Like, that's the main thing. I don't know what I could do. I mean, I could be obnoxious and I could do something like that. It's just like, I don't really know. If somebody had ideas, I'd listen to ideas. I don't have any of my own. That's the only thing. Gennady Lushkov. That's a cool name. Okay. Capitals are important. Then I need a patronym. Yeah, I mean, it'll probably hit, it'll probably hit, 20,000 in, like, uh, I don't know, it might hit it, it might not even hit it until next week. I mean, if you think about it, the sub only grows a few subscribers a day, and it is quite inconsistent, so it might not even hit it for another week. But then again, it could also hit it like 2 days from now. Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. It's a highly erratic because some days I've seen it only like, well, first off, you'll notice that there's a problem with the formatting of my page. Okay? Because you'll see there's overlapping text over here, like basically everything in the sidebar between the rules and submitted text post is kind of scrunched up. So it's kind of hard for me to see, for one thing. And the other thing is, it is erratic because some days I've only seen it grow 3, some days I've seen it grow 30. So, yeah. And I do think it will be a little bit slower because, like, we're leaving summer now, so people are going back to school. I mean, I can zoom in all I want, that messes up the formatting even more. So this is a thing. This is easy to read. Also, I like how I've zoomed in on 0 upvotes. Not that big of a deal. Anyway, there we go. I can still read this though. It's not that hard. I just have to like look at it, you know. Yeah, somebody downvoted me. It's not that big of a deal. That's all. I keep thinking I have a text message. I don't. Yay, upvotes. That was just me entering my phone, by the way, in case you heard that click. How would you describe a caramel color without saying caramel? Because I don't want to say brown, but it's not cream. It's a caramel color. But I feel odd saying caramel. Like caramel with brown stripe. No, caramel. Blah, 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 blah. I need to call this a viper, not a snake. Yeah, there we go. How in the hell do these things survive in the cold? That's what I'm wondering. It depends on how you anthropomorphize them. Like, I think that pretty much goes for anything. Like, anything. It really depends on how you go about doing it. The way I would do it, well, first off, like when at least the way that I do stuff is it's like I come up with why and like what is my goal for anthropomorphizing things. So in the particular world that this story takes place in, and that a lot of my stories are going to take place in, the goal is to make them as much like humans as possible without being like fucking neckos. Basically, like things with wings can't fly. Aquatic species don't breathe underwater. Everything is as equal as possible. So with snakes, like they're anthropomorphized to have legs and arms like normal things. They don't have venom. They don't have any heat sensing and none of that nonsense. They don't have any of that. They just look like anthropomorphized snakes basically. But they don't have any of the functional characteristics of a snake, just because other things don't have that, and it doesn't make sense that in this particular world, it doesn't make sense for things to be unequal. So yeah, because the idea of this world is to imitate the human world as much as possible, like to the point where it's a basically mirrored parallel to the human world. So yeah, but I've also seen snakes done in I think it's called Naga or Naga or Naga, where they basically are just a giant snake, like a giant Harry Potter basilisk, except except like at some point along the snake they then just transition into a torso with arms, and like then it's like a person from that point up. I'm not really a big fan of that, just because to me it's the same thing as a centaur, and I'm just not into that. That's not my thing. Um, but I have seen it done that way. There was actually a post on the sub, I think, not too long ago. They had a picture of that. Yeah, it's the post here. How to sits was put out there 2 or so hours ago. And the other way I've seen it is I've seen it so it's like they don't have arms, but it's so it's like it's the same thing I just described, except they don't have arms. I've seen that, and again, I'm not a big fan of that style. But I think that's basically the three most common ways I've seen. It's just like regular anthropomorphizing it, give it arms and legs and other stuff, and then like the stuff that I added onto it, where it's like take away everything that makes them unique to being a snake. Like that's just the way I do it. Most people don't do that, obviously. But yeah. Well, I'm not sure uh, how much more I have to actually do on a stream, because I was going to get to writing Quiet Falls more, but I'm still not sure if that's the most efficient way to do things, to actually stream writing a story like that, because it's just kind of odd, because it's like everyone would still have to catch up with where I'm writing. Even if I'm in the middle of writing a chapter, they'd have to catch up with it, even if they've read every previous chapter. So it's kind of weird. Um, that's the disadvantage you have when you're writing, instead of drawing art. But I guess it would be the same thing as if you're streaming the drawing of a comic. So at least people who draw comics can share the pain, if you can call it that. But yeah, I might just end the stream because I've been going for an hour and a half. It's not a bad stream. A little bit boring, but yeah, I probably should. Yeah, I'm gonna go back and edit that. Not that it matters at this point. I already missed the chance to give it a plug, but no reason not to do that. Yeah, I'm not sure how exactly I want to go about doing that on Picarto, because it's I'm not sure if I should put that out there. Like, I guess I should do like currently written work, and then do like how can I link to stuff without oh, here we go. Okay, do URL, and then the text to display, Quiet Falls, quiet, actually, do I have to do that? No, I don't. Okay, there we go, so I can do that. Okay, cool. So yeah, okay, so yeah, that comes through just like that. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, thanks for the suggestion. And somebody's messaging me on Skype. Yeah, I refreshed and everything. Oh, you're talking about you refreshing, okay. But yeah, thanks for the suggestion. So yeah, writing is still going slow with Quiet Falls, but I do have a bit more of chapter 4 out. I went back and I renamed all the chapters and everything, so yeah. But yeah. So like, I don't know exactly how much I wrote, but I did write bit more. So, yeah. Basically, I put like every time I write I write big sections of several uh, paragraphs at once, and then I just paste that in there as soon as I'm satisfied with that. So I guess it's like scenes almost. But yeah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna I think I'm just gonna wrap stuff up here because I don't think I have anything else to stream for now, but yeah, I just felt like doing a little something because I was gonna sit here and have to figure out these names anyway. So yeah. Thanks. Boom. But yeah, thanks for watching and everything. So, yeah, and Pinefoot was here for a while before he left, so, yeah. I can't really thank him because he's not here, but, yeah. Hopefully I stop being incredibly fucking boring, and hopefully people decide to watch this a bit more, but, yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, milk first, or yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I'll get this up on my YouTube channel and everything. So, yeah, because I think that's the other thing I do different from other people is, like, I actually record stuff instead of just streaming. Yeah, I put the milk in first with the cereal. Anyway, I'm going to stop the stream now, so... Yeah, I don't know when I'll do the next stream, but of course I'll announce it and everything. So... Yeah, bye.